Hit it.
Hit it. Well, technically hit
Hit
it.
it.
Let's see where it is. Yep. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak. You lied, liar, pants on fire. Sometimes
Yes.
clients
You
can
lied to us. You lied to us.
you lied. Now, what do we
And
do?
now you will pay.
Yeah.
Now you will pay.
So the point, this topic, I think in the past, especially a lot of agents out there and a lot of buyers out there, a lot of the time you think, do I give the agent my phone number? Do I give the agent my email address? This could be at an open home. This could be on an online inquiry. I know a lot of people who sort of may only be doing one type of transaction, even multiple. There are, I reckon, 10 to 20% of people out there who are they're reluctant to just give their information. They may be afraid the agent will bombard them. They just get spammed. They get just crap information that they didn't want. So what we see sometimes in an open home, the buyer will give a phone number and one digit's wrong. So then you can't follow up with them. And even on an online inquiry, they don't give the phone number or a dummy email address is quite common. Now, I understand where that's come from, but I think now, because the attitude was, if you have anything I like, I'll see it on realestate.com. But I think now when we're moving into a market where a lot of properties are being sold prior to realestate.com, is it important now to have a bit more contact with an agent? What's your thoughts on it, Mark?
You know what? I think that people lunge forward when you lunge forward, and people recess backwards when you recess backwards. And I don't think you're going to get anything out of having your hands crossed. I think having your hands out in a hugging way, you're always going to get a hug back. It's physically, literally like that. And when it's I think in society, it's really, really interesting that you sort of would rather just trickle a little bit of information than a little bit more than a little bit more. But it's an old age thing. Like, we get the shits as real estate agents because people will leave a name and number. Just rubbish. It's not a real number. It's not a real name. And you just think to yourself, like, why don't you just be honest with us? Like, just say, look, here's my name and number. Don't ever call me again. But here's my name and number. And, and the next thing, this is the reason why. And, this is why we're here. So I think when you're going to an open house, if you can just give as much information out, you will get as much information as you can in.
Yeah, because I suppose if you're you're a new buyer, come to the market, you go on a Saturday to 10 different properties, and then I imagine they're probably fearful of now 10 agents have their hand, and it's not just one buyer, like it's going to be a lot of contact. But I think you've got to take it on your own to say to the agent, yep, you can call me, only SMS me, only email me, a bit of sort of to and froing there, because sometimes with a property, you've given the wrong details on a Saturday, that agent's got it, and you think, I'll make contact on Monday with him or Wednesday if I want to be interested in the property. But a lot of time those properties can get sold from the Saturday open on that Saturday night. And if you haven't given your correct details, you're just not going to be open to finding out. I just think sometimes that risk versus reward, like the risk I feel is giving your privacy away and being bombarded. I don't really see a win there. Like a lot of people do it. I think it's 10 to 20% of clients, if not more.
The reason you're going to the property is for a information gathering exercise. That's the reason why you're viewing something. You are trying to get information. Now, I can guarantee you that if you're the chances of you coming across a good real estate agent and them giving you good information are actually going to be pretty high, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 1 in a million for a great real estate agent like us.
Yes.
But if you give that information out to those people, then you're the correct information. You're going to get good information back for your gathering exercising, for your information gathering exercise. So it's more of a risk not to give out your information, and even just information about you, why you're looking, what you're after, what your motivations are. Look, it's going to be in 2 or 3 years' time. It's not going to be today that we're doing something. All of that information, that's going to help you, aid you, facilitate you in the future to be able to locate an agent. So, the odds are that I always say you're a better buyer when you don't have to buy, and you're a better seller when you don't have to sell. So why not start early? Yeah. Even if you're doing it in 2 or 3 years' time and you're looking 2 or 3 years too early, just to give out that information, you will find there will be people that'll help you.
And you know what? People think I'll give less information and I'll get less calls. It actually works out the opposite. The more information you give, the less calls you will get, because they will be more qualified calls.
That's a good call.
By a buyer just saying, rocking up to an apartment at 2 better, in that the buyer may have specific requirements, i.e. east of Pittwater Road, has to have a garage, have to blah, blah, blah. But you don't want to give that information to the agent because you don't want to be hassled. But then the agent lists another 2 better, which may be on the western side. They call you anyway because they don't know you want to be on the eastern side. So it actually works in reverse. The less you get, the more calls. So
the motor mouth at the open house, 100% is the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah, and I think the agents don't want to just hassle you for no reason. They would prefer to know more about you, qualify the calls, and call you when they've got something that they know that you like. So I think the industry has come a long way in that last sort of 10, 20 years. And I also think a lot of consumers, compared to 4 years ago, I think people have gotten a lot more relaxed with privacy. I do know there was a period.
I have.
Yeah. Remember when a lot of people would not let their phone sync with GPS or sync that because they didn't want
location services,
when the beginning that first came out, I was sort of reluctant, but then now it's like, if it knows where I am, it feeds me better stuff. Marketing, you get the items you're looking at. So I think lowered our privacy levels a lot. So I think,
Well, you know what? I just think there's, when you go out there guys, if you just tuned in, what we're talking about is giving out your information or lying about your information at an open house, the pros and the cons. Something that you clipped on at the beginning of the segment, Michael, was
realestate.com being sold prior.
And I think that's a big one, because I can guarantee you that 3 to 5 years ago, every single piece of property that we had for sale or for lease hit realestate.com.au. I'll tell you the number. I reckon it was about 96% of our properties were hitting. So as a buyer, don't give your information out, and just stay on realestate.com. That's cool. We'll grab your attention there. But how's that changed now?
Well, it's changed now because half the properties are selling before they go to realestate.com.
What do you reckon the number is that we're doing off REA now? REA and Domain.
I reckon it varies from 25% of the listings to it can be 50% in cycles. I reckon it varies.
1 out of 2.
Yeah.
So if you're a buyer or a tenant, and you're not registered on our database with your email and your details, you will not receive an email from us. You will not receive an SMS from us. You will not receive a call from us with a fantastic opportunity that could just be perfect for you at the right time.
Yeah. And that's basically, it could be 25 to 50% of the properties you just don't see. So,
Lisa says COVID has made us bare arseholes.
It's true, but it also has pushed a lot more momentum to social media. I know the traction we've been having. I've seen Lisa's numbers for where they were 12 months ago, 6 months ago. One, that's because of the content, and two, also the environment at the moment is a big push. People to get online, to get on social media, and to try that way to sell. So because in a market, some people are like, well, before I spend $3,000 on realestate.com, let's try a social media approach. And sometimes, yep.
You know what another one is? Did I just push in?
Yeah, it's okay.
Another one is not wanting to go onto Facebook, Insta, or LinkedIn. All of them, one of them, or two of them, three of them, whatever. I think that's also getting to the point now where it's getting a little bit silly. Like I've been on instant media for 2 years, and when I mean on it, I didn't even have a login. For Insta, for example, as one of them, and I think it's a bit of a cock block. I think you're really going to have a hard time with not getting instant information to you, instant news, instant stuff that's tailored to you, because you are shy about your privacy.
Yeah, and you know what? I was just thinking about it. It's from a consumer's point of view, it's very hard, I reckon. I was just thinking backwards, as in, social media is selling a lot of properties, but let's just say you don't know the agent or the agencies who are doing it on social media. It's actually a bit of a hard to find them. There's millions of people on Facebook. So to find agents who are selling on social, it's not like realestate.com where you can put in the suburb of DY and then the properties are there. Facebook, yes, you have Marketplace, which you can filter in for sale, but it's actually very hard to find agents for Facebook who are selling on there, because you've really got to go through them all manually yourself. Yes, you can type in, I'm sure, real estate agents in the search bar and get 50 agents who have said their career is on Facebook, and then you can see if they use social media. But that would be a big hit and miss. So it's important to the agents you meet at that open home, share information, you look them up just as much as they're going to try and qualify you. You need to qualify that agent. So I think you should be going to the open home, then Facebooking that agent, see what they do, and just in your mind, just sort of know if they're using social media or if they're not. Because I'm just trying, just think if you're a random buyer, how do you find people on, it's not like realestate.com where it just goes, there's your DY, there's your number one agent, there's your number two. They have 30 listings. Like Facebook haven't got there yet.
You've got every right. I think they've definitely got there though. But I think you've got what we're talking about today. If you just clicked in, is giving your information at open houses to a real estate agent. Now we've just moved over a little bit to the same topic, but we've talked about emails, we've talked about SMS, we've talked about calls and getting hassled. There's nothing saying you can't have an email account just set up for your real estate search, so that doesn't go into your other email feeds. And in addition to that, there's nothing saying that you can't have your favorite agent. So if and you know what, they may even educate you. You may even learn in that process that you're going through as a buyer, a landlord, a tenant, because you've submitted. And if you're on, for instance, Instagram, have your favorite, 1, 2, or 3 agent. You don't have to have all of them, but I can guarantee you that the people like Mark Zuckerberg have worked out how to get the information you want under your nose, like property, real goddamn fast, with you having not even to do much on your instant media. So, lessons for today, nuggets and takeaways. I've got lots of comments coming through. I'll go to that in a sec. But the message today is submit, be honest, give information out, and you will get information in. The more guarded you are, the less truthful you are about your information, the less information you're going to get in, the more work it's going to take for you to do to find the good oil. What are the comments we got here? We got some social media guru swamis here commenting.
Yeah, I love what you just said there. If I was a buyer, I would create a Gmail account for my buying properties so it doesn't mix up in your personal, and pick an email address that is easy. How annoying is it when people have 30-letter email addresses at an opener? So
XYPTURS401 at
I would,
hotmail.com.au.
yeah, if I was looking to buy, I would do 124buying@gmail.com. Real simple. And I reckon that's a great idea. Set up an email address just for looking at property.
That's the hottest tip from today.
Now, Michael Edwards says it comes down to trusting the. It comes down to the trust. Reader's Digest study says sex workers are more trusted than real estate agents. So that's the premise where people are reluctant to give information. But I think there's a lot of information online about agents, so you should be able to work out which ones are good and not, at least on a general.
Luke says don't use Hotmail. Why not? Lisa, I never have issues getting information from people on giving them property experience they want. That's because you're good looking, Lisa. People will follow my social channels as they prefer. I'd rather give my information to a girl than a guy.
Yeah.
That's sexist. Amal, good morning. Craig Marshall, g'day, legend. Nothing private these days. Yeah, you know what? It's true. True in Queensland, not much going on. Reply, what's COVID? Yeah, that was a response. Not much COVID going on in Queensland. COVID has done a lot of things. Yeah, it has. People happily are giving their details when you're giving them something in return. Hey, there's a bit of gold in that one.
Yeah,
there's a bit of gold in that one. That, you know, if you, yeah, that's right.
What do you mean? So talk us through that.
Well, I think if it's rubbish agent, you're going to get rubbish back. I think if it's good agent, you're going to get good information back. So how do you select that when you're asked name a number? If you met the agent for 15 seconds, you don't, but you'll work it out later. Setting up an alternate email about, give you name and number, set down the guidelines how you want to be contacted, if you want to be contacted, when you want to be contacted, that's fine. And you still get the box head that's going to call you outside that when you say don't call, but there's always box heads in every business. It comes down to trust. Reader's Digest study says sex workers. Yeah, okay, we've done that. And you have to say that, Lisa says. Hackers are on Hotmail. Okay, well, Gmail. You know what? It's true. Gmail is just a juggernaut. You'd think it'd be that their security would be a bit better because they got the budget.
Yeah, so I reckon that's a good tip there. Create your own property Gmail account. Hand that to agents so you can stay alert. Yeah, that's about it.
You nailed it today.
Nailed it.
Far out.
Thank you.
Far out.
That was good.
Wow.
Wow.
I think we've helped the world with all that stuff.
Yep.
So takeaways are, when you're giving out information, give out quality information and you will get quality information back to help you do whatever you want, whether it's on your phone, whether you're traveling around and you walk into a service station and ask someone for help, whether you're talking to a real estate agent at an open house.
Yeah, perfect. All righty, guys. Thank you, everyone. Cheers for watching.
Have a good one today, everyone. Enjoy what's today? Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, weekend's on the way.
Let's do it. All righty, see ya.
Bye.